welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a Dakota Fire Pit, or if you want to say Dakota Fire Hole, whichever. Right, we're going to put it in a normal location we normally have a fire, because I know there's no roots or anything down here that's going to expand the fire. Now, essentially a Dakota Fire Pit is a hole in the ground with a vent tube leading to it, and it's a good way of having a stealth fire, let anybody know when you are, and it's a brilliant way of cooking food on. But there are downsides to it, that it's no good for any radiant heat, anything like that, because it's in the ground. So just be mindful when you are choosing the fire that you want to use, what the limitations of this is. Right, so first thing what you want to do is find out which way the wind direction is, and for us it's coming from the southeast at the minute, and that's normally in this area where we do most of our filming is where the wind comes from. And then, like I say, you want to choose an area where there's not going to be any roots or anything else that could catch fire underground and come out somewhere else and cause major forest fires. So guys, what we want to do first is dig a 12-inch by 12-inch hole and about 12 inches deep for our main cooking pit. And like I'm saying, I know what's under here, so perfectly safe doing it. And with this soil as well, it's very clayey, so it's a bit more tougher to dig in than most. What you want to do, keep your soil to one side as well, because that can come in handy later on. So you can see how clayey that soil is. I'm saying, that's all your pots and pans and that, so here we go. And the thing is with this fire, it is labour intensive. As you would start a normal fire, you just go find your tinder and your kindling and your main fuel and all that, and you'd be fine and get it started straight away and you'd be laughing. But with this, like saying, especially if you want to be stealthy, you do have to invest a bit of time and labour into it. Nice, and what I like to do, I like to bottom it out, make sure I've got a nice flat bottom to it, so that when you are laying your fire in there, it's just going to be a bit easier for you. Okay then guys, so that's the main hole. The main hole dug. There's no major roots or any system in here for to start an underground fire. Now, what we want to do is start our second vent hole, and what you want to do is put it as a 45-degree angle, because we've got a bit of a slope here, so a 45-degree angle, basically burrow into the ground and it'll come out the other side of this hole here. The good thing as well, I'll show you, is when you get started digging the hole and you get further down and you want to break through, get yourself a little micro shovel, and that will save you a lot of hassle and a lot of work. I mean, you can use a digging stick if you want, but I think I got this from Poundland, and obviously it was £1, but it's been brilliant bit of kit. Okay, what I'll do now is my small shovel. So I'm a bit out of breath because it's harder than it looks. There we have it, guys. Shovels come straight through, so we'll just clean this up a bit, neaten it up, square it off, try and get a maximum amount of ventilation going into the bottom of the fire. Ideally you like to be, this hole should be about fist size, so you put your hand through, you know it's going to be perfectly clear. Just a bit more out of that, still a bit tight that hole. I actually said to the bishop anyway. Nearly there. Should now, I'm saying, I can get my hand right here through there now, so that's perfect for what we need. I do just clear out any of the loose soil and what have you. Sometimes as well, when you've dug that hole, you may have to adjust this hole, maybe just just square it off a bit more to get a little bit deeper, just depending how you've done it, because sometimes it never works 100%. So I'm just going to clear this up a little bit more. Okay guys, that is the basis of doing the Dakota Fire Pit. Now, I'm going to go collect some wood, some kindling, some tinder, and we'll bring you back in and show you how I do a fire in one of these holes. There are numerous ways you can do it, but I'll show you my preference and we'll take it from there. Okay guys, we've got our materials to start the fire. Like I say, we've dug out our cooking hole and we've dug out a vent hole at a 45-degree angle. Now we're going to lay the fire. Now what I like to do is do an upside down fire. So we have the fuel at the bottom, and then we have the smaller sticks on top, and we start a little fire on top of everything, and it should just burn down nicely to get some nice coals to be able to cook on. So what I want to do first, I've got two big beefy boys here to put in the bottom to allow the ventilation to come in. So I'll lay them down like so, and then I've got my smaller fuel and I lay them in like a crisscross pattern. So it allows all the ventilation, so that vent will blow, so it allows the air from the vent to blow up through the fire. And then what I do, put my smaller size sticks on, same again, a crisscross pattern, make sure there's plenty of air. And I'll show you why I like doing this later on when we are cooking. There we go, get some of the smaller stuff. I want a decent platform on there to be able to start the fire. Like that. Okay, I'll keep these back to one side. Now what we do, we're going to put, like I say, the old birch bark on there, and that'll be the igniter. Like I say, I've done some feather sticks to chuck on top, and then what we'll do, we'll stick all our little stuff on, and then we'll keep feeding the fire, and till we get a good bed of embers with this stuff. Okay then guys, let's get cracking. So you got my trusty beefy fire steel. That was from the Apoca box in the Ignis edition, and I tell you what, it's absolutely brilliant. I mean, I've used that loads of times, and you can see I haven't taken anything off the top whatsoever, so that's good. And also my new little toy that I got from Springfield that I've been using, my Eldris, more Eldris, and it's a brilliant. It's got a lovely 90-degree spine on there to help strike the sparks off the fire steel. Go then. There we go. Oh, will it now? There we go. Burn, baby, burn. That's so folks, we just keep feeding this with some twigs, small branches and stuff like that, till the main fuel takes and we're good to go, and then I'll burn right down. That'll be brilliant to cook on. As you can see, if you see the smoke, it's been blown through from where we said. So if you need to oxygenate it a bit more, you can always blow through the vent hole. So you can always blow through, there you go. And it just gives it a bit more oomph. As if the technical term is oomph. Let's go and just keep adding to it. What we'll do, we'll bring you back when it's died down and show you we'll do some cooking on it. Okay guys, as you can see now, this is starting to burn down nicely. What I'm going to show you now is there's kind of two ways you can cook on it if you wanted. And the first one is to get yourself some green oak sticks, right? And what we want to do with them, right, is just place them across the fire to make like just a platform really to put your pots and pans on. I'll show you when we mess it in how we could do it. Literally, like I say, just literally place it on and that's it. And a good thing by using green wood is that it won't burn. Well, it will burn, but it won't set on fire as such, so you can leave them on there for a while, boil up your water, cook your food up, and you're good to go. Now the second way, and the way we're going to use it today, is I'll just get my gloves for this, is we're going to use a mesh. And all it is 12mm by 12mm, or in old money it's 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch, and that's ideal. And it's about say about 11 to 12 inches in diameter, square. Alright, now this pit is radiating a great amount of heat off it. I'll set them to one side, and all we do, just literally try and flatten it out, because it was folded up in my bag when I brought it in. Flatten it out and then literally place it over the fire. A bit of a flat surface, like so. And what you can do is put some soil on the corners, keep it in place. You haven't got to put anything into the fire. Like so. Right, that way. It doesn't want to work, this doesn't. There we go. Right, Now the reason why I've left the gap is so that we can feed the fire with smaller sticks. Even though we've got a good set of embers, it will eventually die down. So if you can see, still kept some of the smaller kindling, and I've gone up through the big sticks and so on and so forth. So like now it's going to die down a bit, so what I'll do, get a few of these, break it down, just start sticking them in through the end there like that. I'll do some of the bigger ones, just feed that in, push that down, bigger ones in, so on and so forth. Now sometimes what can happen is that with the ventilation hole, it sometimes can get blocked up. So I got there just a little fire rake, and what you can do is poke it in and just clear the debris out. Let's say allow a bit more ventilation. Yeah, that's all right now. What you can do with this as well, because there's a hole in the end, if you need a bit more oomph, blow it through. There we go. I'm putting the turbo on. Let that burn through, and you can cook down. Right then. So, what we got today, we've got some sausage and some bacon. A trusty British mainstay this is for having breakfast. What we're going to do, just cut it. On the end, literally just going to chuck them on the barbecue. I'll let them cook through to one side, and also we've got some nice smoked bacon. Wow, yum yum yum. Listen to that sizzle. So I've cleaned this in between takes so that, you know, we're not going to get poisoned or anything. There we go guys, and then I'm saying another 20 minutes we should have nice cooked food there. Okay guys, we'll bring you back when we're done. Alright guys, so we've had a nosh. We've let these fires, the flames and that die down now. What you're going to do, just take the grid off. That to one side. What you're going to do, just give this a bit of a rake. Right. Now, all I want to do now, normally a lot of people just shove the soil on top, but I always like to make sure it's doused with water, good stir up, and then put the soil on top, because you know there's nothing going to be burned underground at all. So I've got some just water from the stream. So it's a bit smoky, guys. Okay, just a bit more. I'll do that because, like I said, there's no embers in it now. It's just all warm. Add a bit of salt to it. Mix it all in. Like I say, you always want to make sure it's gone out, because when you leave the site, the last thing you want is to burn down the woodland. So just be careful and just really be thorough with this part of the task. Well, guys, you know what we do? It's just backfill all the holes and we're done. There we go, guys, and if you want to be particular, what you can do, find some sticks, some leaf mould lying about and just cover the top so it looks like you've left no trace. So guys, if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. If you want to leave a comment, it'd be brilliant. Now if you wanted to describe, well, that would be really good. It'd be top drawer. Okay guys, so we'll catch you back on the next one. This is working really well.
A little too well.